My brothers and sisters in Christ, I don't know if you've ever had a favorite television program or series, perhaps something that becomes syndicated, reruns years and years later on TV that you like to catch. If you've ever done that with a show, occasionally you'll see the phenomenon where you'll turn on and realize it's the first episode ever, the pilot episode, and it's one of those things like where you step back and go, wow, that's where the show went on to go 5, 6, 8, 10, however many seasons. It's like, wow, this is where it all started. In a sense, that's what happens for us today. We start with the reading for the book of Genesis, and we jump right to Genesis 1:1, the story of creation. And it's, of course, unlike a fictional TV show, this is very real. But it can have the same reaction for us, which is it's good sometimes to go back to origins. It gives us a sense of perspective. And so in this story, and we only hear half because it's a long account, so it's chopped up over 2 days, but the first part of the creation account in chapter 1 of Genesis. But nonetheless, those just the words "in the beginning," for a Jew or for a Catholic, it immediately takes you somewhere. It takes you to this account, in the beginning. And it spells out this beautiful story as passed down through the fathers of the creation of the heavens and earth. And many over time have always argued about, well, is it a literal account these days? Is this allegorical? And that's frankly neither here nor there right now. But it's the story of a beginning. And it's the story of the author of the beginning. And so God, who is bigger than time, bigger than creation, the one who is eternal, all-encompassing, it's a story of how we come to be in his image and likeness, as we, of course, later hear. But it's the story of how the heavens and the earth, the universe, everything that we know, everything that exists, comes forth from God. And he holds all things in the palm of his hand. He's greater than his creation. We rejoice in this in the responsorial psalm we hear today, but this perspective of God creating and above all things, while it's not a new concept to us, it's something that sometimes we need to reset and just think of that simple thought of what the ramification of that is for us. In the gospel, we hear the story that Jesus continues to come around and they continue to bring the sick to him and he heals them all. And everyone's always amazed when he heals. And Jesus, from time to time in the Gospels, seems to say, and it's always ultimately pointing at his divine identity, is to say, why are you so amazed? If Jesus is God, then why wouldn't all things be in his power? God literally created everything. All things are in the hand of God. And so, the healing of a person, a miracle here and there, are as nothing to God. And yet, in the smallness of our understanding and our thought, these loom as big things. And so by extension, often our own struggles, our own challenges seem too big. Well, we think, okay, well, yes, I should pray, God help me, but really I have to fix it myself. And that's the trap way of thinking sometimes, is that prayer becomes as something of kind of well-wishing, like throwing a penny into a wishing well, and I hope it has a good outcome. But our prayer is something so much bigger than that. If we're in relationship with God, we're in relationship with the one for whom all things are as nothing. That great problem we're facing, if it's in the will of God to fix it, it's done. Now, sometimes the things that we think we want and need aren't actually what's good for us. And that is where our understanding falls short of the will of God. God wills nothing but the good, but sometimes we have a flawed understanding of what is good. But we should take comfort in the fact that God is not distant, he is not abstract. It's not, will he hear my prayer? Is he even aware of my suffering? God knows, sees, and holds all in the palm of his hand. And so, when we're intimately in relationship with God, we have no fear because we know that our good is promised and delivered. God will not withhold the good from us as we put our trust in Him. All good things are in the palm of His hand. May God bless you all.